All right, so let's talk about the health risks and impact of alcohol abuse. So, what happens to the body when you drink alcohol? So, alcohol travels through the bloodstream to the brain. Your liver works to metabolize the alcohol in the bloodstream and make it less active. It kind of breaks it down. So, your metabolism is the process by which the body breaks down substances. So, that's what your liver does. It handles any kind of toxic chemicals, and that's really what alcohol is inside of your body. Now, kidneys will filter the neutralized particles and other waste products from the blood, and then it produces urine. So, what does alcohol do to your brain? Well, it's a drug, it's a depressant that slows down the central nervous system. So, you're going to want to define this in your notes about what a depressant is. It affects your motor skills. So, like your reaction time is going to be slower. It makes it more difficult for you to see clearly. It will sometimes slur your speech. You'll also obviously have like that breath of alcohol in your breath too. Now, all of these things, diminishing your clear thinking and your judgment. Sometimes you can black out, have memory loss. You might miss part of the night. You might miss the entire night. Just your brain just stops recording, and you'll still be interacting, but you're gonna have no recollection of what happens during that night if you drink that much and you're in a blackout. Now, all these things are obviously super dangerous for operating any kind of a vehicle where people's lives are on the line if you cannot operate that vehicle safely. Hence, why there's such strict laws about people that drive and then are intoxicated. So, okay, let's look at this. Suppose a person has the choice to drink either 12 ounces of beer, which would be represented by this beer glass, or 12 ounces of wine. So, why might the person become less intoxicated drinking the beer than drinking the wine? Well, it's just more concentrated in these smaller amounts, right? So 12 ounces of beer equals about 5 ounces of wine, which is so there's less volume. So if you're interested in not going to the bathroom too often, that might be your choice right there, right? And then you have 1.5 ounces of liquor right here. So this would be like a shot of liquor. But here's the problem. If you decide to drink this much, the beer's amounts of the liquor, you're going to get very drunk very quickly, and that becomes very dangerous. That's one of the big no-nos about drinking is if you are going to be drinking, you need to really like space it out over a long period of time so your body has enough time to process it. I think the average is even like one every like 2 hours is probably like one of the safest bets to make sure that you don't get too intoxicated. And for some people, that would still get them very intoxicated. For other people that have a high tolerance, they're just fine with it. But just because you might physically feel fine, that doesn't mean that if you get pulled over, that they wouldn't be able to test your blood alcohol level and then arrest you for it. So, what is a drink? In the United States, a standard drink contains zero point 0.6 ounces of pure alcohol. So then that could be dispersed throughout, right? So 12 ounces of beer might have 5% alcohol content, 8 ounces of malt liquor, you have 5 ounces of wine, 1.5 ounces of 80 proof alcohol. All of that might actually be the same amount of alcohol. It's just spread throughout very differently. So your BAC, you're going to write this down. Your blood alcohol concentration is the amount of alcohol in a person's blood, right? So it courses throughout your blood and it's expressed as a percentage. So people who have a BAC or blood alcohol concentration of 0.08 or above are considered legally impaired. So again, if you were to get pulled over for this, and if you have 0.08, even if it wasn't for driving recklessly, maybe you're driving just fine, but your taillight was out. If you got pulled over for that and they decided, I smell alcohol, let's do a BAC, and you have 0.08, you're going to get a DWI or driving while intoxicated. We'll talk about what that means. Intoxication is a state in which the body is poisoned. Yeah, because you are taking mild poison by alcohol or other substance, and the person's physical or mental control is significantly reduced. Again, you may not notice that it's significantly reduced, really. You might feel fine, and some people have overconfidence in their abilities, but you are, especially if it's expressed by this percentage. It used to be, I think 1.0 was the blood alcohol concentration, but they found out that they were saving lives by moving it down to 0.08.